Welcome back to the Nerdrotic channel. My name is Gary Buechler. I am live in San Francisco, California, and I come to you from nerdrotic.com. And today is the Monday Nooner Delight live stream, 7th or 8th edition. I lost count. It started out as just kind of a test to see if I can do this stuff solo, and I've just decided to continue it because it's so much fun. So we're not covering any TV show in particular today. We're just going to go over some news, talk to you guys in the chat. And yeah, so we're going to start out on a very serious note here. And I'm wearing my conspiracy shirt in honor of Art Bell, the death of Art Bell. If Art Bell would be in my 5, if I could take 5 things with me, Desert Island, Lost Planet, whatever. If I could take just a couple of his shows, that would be on my list. I spent so much time with this man in the early aughts and late 90s. Actually, yeah, I think he started syndicating fully in 93. I honestly can't remember the first time I heard him. I'm pretty sure I was listening to some of his Las Vegas broadcasts, which were in the late 80s. And there's so much. I mean, I'm always in the UFOs and the whole ancient astronaut theory, ancient aliens. There's so much stuff that needs to thank Art Bell, including the X-Files, which, Chris Carter mined him heavily, and just so many movies and so many guys on the circuit. David Hatcher Childress, Brian Forster, Giorgio Tsoukalos, Graham Hancock. All of these people need to be thanking Art Bell. And I don't want to start off too negative, but it's been radio silence, for lack of a better term, on the tributes to Art Bell. They mentioned it on Coast to Coast, and it's widely known that he and George Norrie didn't like each other. I'm not a huge fan of George Norrie. He is not even in Art Bell's league as far as how to run an interview, how to run a show. George Norrie relies heavily on his guest to just tell the story, and a lot of times it sounds like he's not even paying attention to his guest with he's really horrible, excuse me, at the follow-up question. A guy will come down and say, yeah, I met an alien species, they took me on their ship, and he goes, that's nice, what color was the ship? It's like, it's stuff, crap like that. Art Bell took the craziest lunatic and made him sound completely sane, because he treated every guest the same. He treated them like human beings. As whack as the stuff sound, and listen, there was a lot of woo-woo on his channel, okay, on Coast to Coast. But like I said before, I spent almost every evening with that guy. One of my most memorable shows was in this room, when this room was a bedroom. For me and my wife, we've moved our rooms around quite a bit, and it was the night before Katrina, and Art Bell was on taking phone calls from New Orleans from people who decided to stay, and he's begging them to leave. He's like, this is not a normal storm, you're not going to be able to ride this out. And people were just like, no, we're cool, we've been through it before. That's what. And my favorite, anytime he had David Icke on in the early Alex Jones days, when Alex Jones was just purely conspiracy. Alex Jones was hilarious on Art Bell. It was so funny. But my absolute favorite was Father Malachi Martin. He was a Jesuit priest. I don't know crap about Catholicism. He was an official exorcist. Okay. And he spun the creepiest stories of exorcism. If you can find some of those anywhere, I mean, like freaking Pirate Bay, do what you got to do to find, or sign up to Coast, and you can get everything's archived there. And I think it's like $5 a month or something like that. And definitely listen to the Father Malachi Martin stuff. It was totally creepy and good and entertaining. And he had one of the best voices on radio. He was one of the best interviewers, and yeah, I'm gonna miss the guy. We've we had a couple of big deaths over the weekend. We had Ermy, however you say it, from Full Metal Jacket. He passed away, and Art was pretty old, but he looked healthy. There's a great video It's out. I shared it on Twitter of Art's last goodbye, and it's just him, firing up a drone and waving goodbye, and it just like goes up into the sky and kind of backs away from Art. And also, Art dying on Friday the 13th is eerily appropriate. It's like he planned it, So so Art, you're going to be missed. I don't know how many of you out there were into Art Bell, but he influenced so much stuff in pop culture. And he's going to be missed. And a lot of people have careers thanks to him, and they are completely quiet. Jimmy Church, I'm pointing at you, buddy. If I was Jimmy Church and I had control, I had my own radio show, and I had thousands of subscribers on YouTube, I would have ran an Art Bell tribute on Saturday, like all day, live. And he didn't. Maybe he had plans or something like that. George Noory did get choked up when he was talking about it. He did talk about their differences, but at least he acknowledged that like he's there because of Art. There is some controversy around Art, and I'm not going to talk about it because it's just all rumor, and I don't know. And you can't really judge a man on rumors, although we do that quite often here. So I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Hi everybody in the chat. How's it going? Let's see it go. Wow, man. Penn Farm Girl, Dakota Stanton, the Bentox, Feisty fan. What's up, Feisty? Viking bitch is in here. Hello, Viking bitch. Jody, what's up, man? Jody and his wrench. He's out to wrench some stuff. Apple Crow, just scrolling through here. Mark, how are you, Mark? And Silver Spike's here. Hello, Silver Spike. It's always nice to have Silver Spike here. And did I see Dante? Yes. What's up? How's it going? Yeah. So, sorry I'm late. I was across town at the salon getting some haircut and a little beard trim by the mighty Melissa Wagner, the wonderful Melissa Wagner, my wife. And she opened up the salon just for me. I feel so special. I really do. Ed Brewer, hello, sir. Good afternoon. Yeah, so we're going to go over some topics here. And if you guys just want to talk about Art Bell or not, that's fine. Go ahead and tell me your favorite things. Tell everybody in the chat. Rob Biller, hello. How are you? And yeah, I try to talk to everybody, everybody in the chat. This is community based, and you guys actually make the show. Otherwise, I'd be just rambling about inane shit all day. So, and there's some other news. So what I'm going to go over today is briefly, unless you guys want to talk about something else, is the Predator. They reshot the entire third act reportedly and delayed the film, which we knew the film was going to get delayed from February, obviously, to September. I'm not sure if that's this year or next. I'll have to look. We got a new Terminator, and yes, I put it in the title, The Little Terminator, because he's little. All right. He's a good actor. He was Ghost Driver in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Gabriel Luna. I'll give you my opinions on that a little bit. There's some Star Trek 4, some very minor Star Trek 4 hit. Like, we're actually going to get one. That was kind of big news. And the biggest news today so far that I've seen is it looks like the ending of Infinity War got spoiled. Now, I am not going to tell you that spoiler. I will not do that here. If you guys want to go find it on your own, that's totally on you. But there's going to be for the first time in the MCU history, a novelization to fill in some story. And Dennis and I have gone over this a ton of times, that if you have to do prequels, oh my God, my phone's ringing. If you have to do prequels or side stories or books to fill in your story, then you got a problem. So I think I've been pretty clear that I'm a little wary about Infinity War. I want it to be the greatest movie ever. Okay. And I'm really looking forward. I already got my tickets. We're going to review it here. And if it's the greatest thing ever, I will tell you so. But there's some things that we'll go into later that I'm kind of worried about. And this novelization coming out, filling out some backstory on Thanos, which is coming out in November. And apparently in the description, it kind of spoils the end. Now, the end is kind of obvious if you've read the comics, but if you haven't read the comics, you're getting spoiled. And that sucks. And the fact that Disney did it is especially after like asking us not to spoil stuff. They actually made a video. The Russo brothers made a video asking us not to spoil stuff. And I am down with that. I don't want anybody spoiling this movie. I am trying to not watch any trailers or do anything on it. I'm not reading anything, but I do subscribe to Comic Book Cast 2. And of course, he's going to fire it up there because that's what he's made his living off of. And, bless him for it. That's great. He's got 250,000 subscribers. So if I was wearing a hat, it would be off. It would be off. I'm going to try to, there's a lot of chat going on before I got here. 42 here. The Bentox says it's 42 degrees here in Mass, still covered in snow. We are currently, it says it's sunny right here, and I got some video of it. We're in the eye of some crazy storm, so it's got a beautiful blue sky surrounded by these very ominous looking clouds, and there's some thunder and lightning going on. And this is old San Francisco, so if I just blink away, it's because the power went out, which it does all the time here on perfectly clear days. So, yeah. Remember, this is the place where gas lines blow up and kill people. Just a few miles down the road was the San Bruno explosion, where a giant gas line blew up in the middle of a neighborhood. It was horrible. And it's 80s in Florida, says Penn Farm Gold. Yeah, you just go and brag. And Dakota Stanton, who is in Wisconsin, my wife's home state, says it's 31. And I heard you are going through some crazy ice storms right now. Melissa's uncle is in the hospital and nobody from the family can go visit him right now, which sucks. He is doing better though. I mentioned it last podcast. Uncle Kevin is doing better. Our prayers are going out to him. I love Uncle Kevin. He is one of the coolest dudes ever. Thank you for the compliments on the shirt. The Bedtox, my wife got me. The son is quite possibly, I usually don't wear white. I am a white guy, but I'm not a white guy. You know what I'm saying? I just wear black all the time. It never goes out of style, plus Johnny Cash. Steve Nyman. Hello, Steve. Says, I loved Art Bell. Did I ever call in? I tried many times and never got through. When he had that messenger thing, I popped in and he read a couple of my messages. And it was always in defense of Art. Like some of the callers were kind of getting on him for his political views. I believe Art was a libertarian. So, which is, I kind of see it as the middle of the road. Some people don't. Langley, how are you, sir? Good go. Oh, thank you so much. Good thoughts go out to Uncle Kevin. Hope he improves. Thank you so much. And it's back at you, Mr. Neely, back at you. Art Bell was the Man in Black. He was the X-Files. And he was entertaining as hell, whether you believed it or not. The guy had the best overnight ratings. He was the third biggest radio show next to, I think, the big guy down in Florida and the guy with the long hair in New York, who I used to love so much and kind of sold out. But yeah, Art was amazing. And he retired a bunch of times. I really did get frustrated with him the last time he retired because he, quote unquote, doxed himself. So everybody knew where he lived and he had to quit. He started a streaming service 3 years ago and he had to quit because people were showing up at his house, like stalking him. And he just had a baby girl. God, he just had another baby girl too. So Art was vital. Good for you, my friend. Late in life. I remember the show when his first wife died and how broken up he was. It was, he was rightfully paranoid. So yeah, how many times did he retire, guys? Like 4 times. I liked most of his fill-in hosts. I didn't like Ian Punnett, was not an Ian Punnett fan, but I liked everybody else. And I still, once in a while, I listen to George, but I really think George Knapp should be running that show, or Jimmy Church. Jimmy Church is pretty good too. I met him briefly at Contact in Desert. Seems like a pretty cool dude. He's like a rock and roll DJ. He's always like, "Hey man, how you doing?" What's up, Doug? I listened to Art Bell late at night driving home from concerts in LA. Great for the late night listening. He was the best. Oh my God. And great for mining for stories. Brian Smart. Hello, sir. Art Bell, original Lone Gunman, straight up. One of the Lone Gunmen actually kind of looks like him a little bit too. Um, so yeah, Doug and I wrote a comic book, and I pretty much the entire origin and everything. I had it planned, and then I listened to Art Bell, and I just injected everything from Art Bell I could into my superhero story. And yeah, if I if Doug would have just gone ahead and wrote it on his own, it probably would have been great because Doug's a pretty good writer, man. But I suck. So, do you think the last season of the X Files is what finished Art off? It almost finished me off, Apple Crow. I was so pissed. God damn. It was funny. If I should have hit record between me and Dennis before we started our final podcast on us, because I was cussing. I was fired up, man. Oh my. There you go. Best Sulu. Oh my. Hello, how are you? Greetings. You are in the UK, right? Greetings in the UK. So it's like, what time is it over there? Like 9 o'clock at night? Am I wrong on that one? So Dougie's been to the UK a lot. So have I. I love the UK. It's freaking brilliant. So yeah, let's get to the little Terminator, shall we? I'm gonna try to find that article I had. Here, I lost it, so I'm gonna bring it up again. Gabriel Terminator, and I'm sure it's on Deadline. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we'll share the screen with you all. Now, I also want to mention this is gonna get every time I mention this, it gets my stuff demonetized, but I don't really care. The only reason I monetize it all, I wouldn't at all to annoy you guys with ads, but it helps with visibility, and so that's the only reason I do it, guys. That I don't. We get super chats; they're greatly appreciated, and that's going to go back into whatever is in the podcast. But Dennis and I will never dream of quitting our day jobs to do this full time. Although it'd be great, it'd be fun, and I could do a live stream every day. But I kind of like my job. It's really cool and exciting. Okay, so Gabriel Luna is the new Terminator. Natalie Reyes and Diego Boneta also set to star in Tim Miller, who I like, James Cameron Sky Dance reboot. So it looks like they're going to get rid of all the bad Terminators, and this is going to take place. It's got is it Linda Hamilton in this too? I think. Yeah, she is, which is great. Exclusive, the search for the new Terminator to take over the first sanctioned Jim Cameron reboot since the original is over. Director Tim Miller and producer Cameron have tapped Gabriel Luna for the role. Luna is best known as starring as Robbie Reyes / Ghost Rider in ABC's action superhero series, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., as well as El Rey network drama series Matador. El Rey's a great network, by the way. On the film side, he starred in films like Freeheld and I don't want to say that word. Transpecos, whatever the hell that is. Natalie Reyes, Lady La Vendora de Rosas, El Gato es en la Cocina, and Diego Boneta, Scream Queens, also have been set to star in the film. The Terminator was resurrected by Skydance's David Elliott in concert with James Cameron, who gets back a lot of the reversion rights to the original 1984 film. Next year, they've tapped Tim Miller, the Deadpool director. Luna joins Blade Runner 2049's Mackenzie Davis, Diego Boneta, and returning cast members Arnold Schwarzenegger and Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, who I did vote for, and Linda Hamilton, because I thought it was funny. Okay. And David Goyer's writing the script. Oh man, that just took the wind out of my sails. Okay, is anybody into the Terminator as a franchise anymore? You can have other Terminators. They don't need to be all big muscly men. I just kind of did that title as kind of a joke. But Gabriel Luna is 180. He's about 5'11". you know, if he's going to be the liquid Terminator or some new version, digital, it's probably going to be a digital Terminator or a nanobot Terminator or something like that. I could be wrong. Or no, a drone Terminator, made of little tiny drones. That's the hot thing right now. I actually didn't mind him as Ghost Driver in Agents of Shield. I thought he was okay. It was really fun seeing. I love Ghost Rider in anything. I love the crappy movies. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to. I hope I didn't trigger Feisty on our. I did. Oh, and you can go there. It's still up, by the way. Go to I Love Comics. And after we're done with the live stream here, and Feisty Fan and I had a little debate. It was Comic Book Thunderdome. And I came out bloody. I came out bloody and beaten. And you know, I've got a few years on Feisty. Okay, maybe a couple of decades. I am not assuming her age. She's young and definitely young at heart, and her enthusiasm is amazing. Maybe I kind of stole that. I think I kind of stole it. I fought a little dirty. I did. I did, and I don't regret it at all. She told me to take the gloves off. So I was just doing what you told me, Feisty. But Feisty, you know I love you. And she did so well. Actually, some of the people in the chat who are watching and listening to the fight think that I lost. And I definitely choked a couple of times, like really hard. And it's funny because like I can name the most obscure superheroes, but when you're arguing with somebody and trying to argue a point, all that shit flies right out of your head. Boom, gone. And also I was arguing an uphill battle. So she had one of the arguments was what's the best character that was created in the 70s? And by the way, I was it's a technicality, but she picked Wolverine, who I will tell you right now, I've named my child after. And so I had to argue against Wolverine and explain how Ghost Rider is a better character. And I did my very best because I clearly, while I love Ghost Rider, don't really believe that. And I won that one. Now I thought I was going to absolutely lose that one. And the one I thought I was going to win, I freaking lost, which was Bronze Age versus the Golden Age. And she kind of wiped the floor with me on that one because my brain went blank. Now, yeah, I'm not even going to offer any excuses, man. That's just how it went down. And she's good. She's freaking good. So, yeah, maybe we'll do a rematch someday, but I don't know. Maybe I think I might want to. You know, I'm like that prize fighter who like knew he just like barely got out of the fight alive. I don't think I'm going to go for the rematch, to be honest with you, because I'll probably lose. But it was a fun time was had by all. So definitely check out I Love Comics and YouTube and look for Comic Book Thunderdome number 10. And that's where we are. Feisty and I have been on some podcasts before. She's actually on last Monday. And she's always welcome to come on. She is good. She's going to have her own channel pretty soon. And we will pub it hard when that happens. We will get the word out there for her because I think she's going to do some really good. And it's a new take. It's not something somebody's really done a channel on yet. And I think she's going to blow up. She'll have way more subscribers than me, and it's going to be amazing. Oh my God, did she? Okay, hang on. Let me go up there. Thank you, Viking bitch. Dakota, did you sneak in? You snuck in a super chat, Dakota. I didn't like Luna in Agents of Shield. His story arc is what turned me off to the show. Really? Dakota, I can see where you're coming from on that. I get blinded by just seeing the flaming skull, and I'm all cool. And it's where I was at in the 70s. I kind of explained this a little bit in the Thunderdome. Was I really liked back in the 70s when we didn't see anything like the Spider-Man live action TV show, which was just a giant turd. But just seeing Spider-Man run around in a costume, I was totally good with it, like the Electric Company stuff. So I think that's where I was at with that. It wasn't necessarily good. Agents of Shield is not a show. I like the first season. I like the first and second season, but it's really the king of peripheral superhero TV, which I don't like. I wish I would just be able to see my superhero. Yeah, Edward Brewer says Linda Hamilton is going to be in. Yes, she is going to be in Terminator. I'm into love Linda Hamilton. She was the Hook in Terminator 2. It wasn't Arnold for me. It wasn't. It was Linda Hamilton, and you know James Cameron is really good at the badass female. You know, with Ripley, of course, but Linda. It was so different back then. You know, especially seeing how her character evolved from being the damsel in distress in the first one to being just a killer, a straight up killer in the second one, like training in her. She's in the asylum and she's doing like pull ups and she was ripped. She looked, oh, she looked super hot and dangerous. That's how I like my women, hot and dangerous. I'll just take dangerous sometimes. I don't know, like a little danger in my life. Uh, Viking bitch says, I'm proud of my weirdness. Wear it proudly, Viking bitch. Okay. Letting that freak flag fly is a good thing here at in our community because I definitely love the weird. If you haven't figured that, like Taco Bell at 3 a.m. I I probably forgot what that reference is, but I've been to Taco Bell's at 3 a.m. and many a night, many a night. I saw this is really off but it just reminds me of it. I was at the Carl's Jr. Tweaking my ass off, by the way. This was in the 88, 89, and freaking Duran walked in out of their bus, and I'm there with my girlfriend at the time, and we're just, you know, tweaking. And there's nothing open where we grew up in Encinitas, California. Nothing was 24 hours, so like everybody hung out at the Carl's Jr. The real, and it was like 3 a.m, and yeah, Simon LeBon walks in and orders like a double Western bacon cheeseburger. One of those surreal moments. Yeah, Duran. It wasn't like the full. It was when they had kind of broke up. The Notorious album, so it was only 3 of them. We lost a couple of the Taylors. I think Andy Taylor and who was the drummer? Was it Nick Taylor or something like that? They weren't in the band. Yeah, it was weird. Definitely weird. Weird celebrity moments. I've got a couple of those, but I'll save them. Like the time I met Brent Spinner, walked into one of our events. That was like my jaw hit the floor. I was like, "What?" I couldn't even talk to him. I was so starstruck by Data. Well, okay. Viking bitch asks a very good question. Gary, were you so high you weren't sure if it was he was really there? I can't be sure that really happened. Not only was I so high, I had been up for like 4 days. So yeah, shit gets weird when you've been up for 4 days. Really does. Speaking of James Cameron, anywhere you're going to see the history of sci-fi? Is that going to be on sci-fi? Brian Smart? It was actually Roberto Duran. Gary's vision was blurred. Says Dougie J. Yes, Ed Brewer. More of a crank than a meth. What's going around these days, what the kids are doing these days is not the stuff I used to do, but they're putting the same name on it. So it might be the same basis of it. Now, I don't know I think their kids are, now this is, okay. I went to a meet. One of the reasons I'm late, besides the haircut, is I go to an AA meeting in the morning. So how I bitch on CW. One of the worst things about it is people go into hallways and talk about their feelings. I actually go into rooms and talk about my feelings. So I'm a total fucking hypocrite. But yes, I know, I am aware of what the kids are smoking and doing. It's really freaking bad. That's like jet fuel. Okay, one of the ingredients is jet fuel. Okay. But ours was like called Crank. I don't know if that's still around. A great depiction of it is the Salton Sea. If anybody's ever seen the Salton Sea, it has one of the best depictions I've seen of kind of some of the people I used to deal with. Vincent D'Onofrio plays a guy who's has no nose, so he's got a fake prosthetic nose. I have actually seen this in real life. One of the best scenes in that movie is reenacting the Kennedy assassination with chickens and a toy train. Yes. Yes. It's a great film. It's a great film, by the way. Oh, my only addiction is gaming, Nerdrotic Apple Crow. That you know what? Leave it at that. I don't consider that a bad addiction. Everybody's got an addiction. It's how you focus it. It's how you aim that thing. As we say in the program, we're never going to get cured. It was the cutest thing my parents asked me. Is like, when are you going to get better? It's like, never. It's maintenance. That's what it is. It's maintenance. AC, is there a 12-step program for Nerdrotic? Don't join it. It says Pen Farm Girl. That's funny. That's funny. Are we addictive? That's kind of cool. I don't do anything. That my body is a temple. Thanks to Raja Ghul. Halam. Oh yeah, that'd have been nice to have a Lazarus pit just to heal up from. Endless 3 Echo says, I miss sci-fi. Sci-fi isn't the same. It's gotten better though. Endless 3 Echo. But I do miss the days when they would rerun those live action crappy Marvel TV shows. Even Battlestar Galactica. I miss Battlestar Galactica like nobody's business. I'm actually okay if they decide to revamp that up again. Give it a few more years, but I like that story so much. I'd like to, I don't know, they probably screw it up though. So never mind. Yes, Apple Crow, first step is to admit you have a problem. Step 2, realize it's not the problem. Step 3, tune in live. Oh man, that might be our t-shirt. That might be our t-shirt. Right now the lead is your reviews are too long, but we'll see. Halam says he likes Krypton. I do too. I like it. I don't love it. But it is a solid show. It is a solid show, and it's something I might. I think what I'm going to do on the recaps for those is after we do Expanse, I'll come on for like 20 minutes and we'll chat about it real quick. But last Wednesday, I got like 4 hours sleep, and which was okay in my old job, but this one requires some serious brain work, and since I'm not working with the full deck on that one anymore because I burned a lot of it out. It takes a lot of my concentration. It takes a lot of my concentration. So yeah, Gabriel Luna is the little Terminator. He's the little Terminator that could. We'll see though. Robert Patrick pulled it off, and Doug remembers. Doug, you remember when Robert Patrick's grandma used to come into our warehouse? I've told that story a million times here, but Doug was my manager. Little Dougie J in there was my boss at the warehouse. Man, those are good times. And Robert Patrick's grandma would come in, and Robert Patrick's brother, who I'm forgetting the name, was a member of Nine Inch Nails. And oh God, I'm forgetting the band name. His brother was in. It was a huge band. Oh my God, I got to look it up now. Robert. You guys talk amongst yourselves. There's Robert Patrick. And why am I forgetting that band name now? I guess it's not that important. Siblings. Is it Lewis Patrick? No, it's not Lewis. That doesn't sound familiar. Well, she would always mention, yeah, he's in a band called Nine Inch Nails. It was weird. Doug will remember though. Doug does remember when she came in. Yeah, she was really proud. She was cute. The little Terminator on Disney XD. I know, says Langley, right? Oh, that's about to happen. Let's talk about that. That who's you said happy birthday? Who had a happy birthday? Did I miss something? Did I miss a birthday? Happy B Day. I see happy and The Expanse are the only 2 shows to Krypton's okay. Rubicon Alpha, but it needs to do something very quick because it's turning kind of mundane a little bit. It needs to do something extraordinary. I thought having other DC superheroes would help. Maybe they think it's too soon, but they kind of need to pull that in or do something. 12 Monkeys was a good show. Was a very good show. Yeah. It wasn't Rollins' band, Apple Crow. It was God. He was okay. So Nine Inch Nails is mostly Trent Reznor, but he's had bandmates, and it turned into another band, and they had a big hit. Like, I'm not going to sing it. Okay, I'm just not going to sing it. Uh, uh, I've got no. I can't even know if I'd have to sing it for you guys to recognize it, I'm not going to freaking sing. Um, uh, it was an early aughts band. Filter. Thank you. Filter. That was it. Yes, it was Filter. And that's such a late 90s, early aughts band name. Uh, Richard Patrick was, thank you, Apple Crow. He got it. Spotify. I know. Yeah. Look at, thanks, Ed Brewer. Dude, I just got into, I just went into a Discord yesterday for my first time, and man, did I feel old. Holy crap, did I feel old. I'm like, feisty fans walking me through it. I'm like, what button do I press? And what's this? And who's that? And like Apple Crow had to, not Apple Crow, sorry, Switch Point, the wonderful Switch Point, was explaining to me like I was a 5-year-old child, because I was. Although a 5-year-old child would have figured it out faster. So I hung out in the Discord a little bit. It actually is kind of interesting. I might start one for us to kind of go along with our Facebook group if you guys are into that kind of thing. Um, yes, like stabbing westward, all that. I love that stuff, man. That that industrial stuff was big fan, big fan. Ministry was my favorite though. They were my fave. So Leia, okay, real quick, Infinity War. Let's just get to that one real quick. Dude, what are you doing? Spoiling. So there's a synopsis. I don't know if it's on the novel or if it was in a press release. And I got all my information from Comic Book Cast 2. It just came up pretty much right before I started. And for one, the novelization, and it's how it's Thanos' backstory that they cut out of the movie, probably to do this movie, this novelization, which I don't like at all. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just keep everything concise, and then don't spoil the freaking end of the movie. Even though it's an obvious ending, it's still there's some people who have not read the Infinity Gauntlet. Actually, most people have not read the Infinity Gauntlet, and I know it's following some of the beats from it. Um, it's more, oh man, I was so happy when Disney bought Star Wars and Marvel. And now that we're years on end, I mean, the question, and then there's tons of people out there who are like, have it cocked and ready to say, I told you so. I was hopefully optimistic, but I wasn't, naive enough to think that Disney would bland up everything. But what it's doing to the comics is a crime. And more news has come out with the Marvel Fresh Start, that this isn't a fresh start at all. And this is going to really hurt the comic stores a lot. Feisty and her job, I'm worried about that. I'm worried about like what I want to open. And, honestly, I haven't been worried about the industry. The industry goes through crap like this all the time and it bounces back. I'm not so sure now. I'm honestly not so sure now. Hello, my name is Brian. I am Nerdrotic, and I'm a friend of Gary B. Friend of Bill W. Stop it, please. I was thinking about the I am Nerdrotic t-shirt. Would you guys wear that? I mean, like, I'm not going to sell it to you. I'm going to like find a way. It's going to be an exchange. Like if you super chat or join the Patreon, but I'm not going to like straight up sell you a t-shirt. I don't want to. Yeah. This operation has never, ever, ever been about making money. Okay. That's not what I'm doing this for. I do this for, I want clicks. I want lots of people watching the video and tons of people subscribing. But honestly, yeah, I do this for fun. And I don't, and almost it's too tempting. This thing, if money starts getting involved and then it starts becoming distracting, and yeah. And honestly, I feel bad that there's a lot of YouTubers who would do this for a living, and that's awesome that they can do that. That's like, that is great. You can work from home. Like Monday Matt, he gets to work from home now, take care of his baby. That's brilliant. Good for him. But they could pull the plug on him anytime they want. And then what? How do you go out to a job going, yeah, I was a YouTuber? They're like, what? So I like that. It's simple and to the point. Glasses logo with I am Nerdrotic. Okay. I kind of like that too. I do. That sounds cool. Mr. Neely says, I still think Disney acquisition of Marvel and Star Wars were positive in the long run. And I, I think, I think you're right, Mr. Neely, because I think they'll eventually work it out. I think we're going to get, okay, honestly, positive time for Disney Star Wars. Jon Favreau doing a Star Wars TV show is a huge positive. I think that will be good. I do. And I think maybe that's where their future is in TV. And if they get Dave Filoni like to work with Jon Favreau, holy crap, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. So Star Wars isn't dead. It's gone, but it's clear now that Disney really, and this is a bold move. Honestly, if you think about it from a business standpoint, okay, not from a emotional standpoint, let's get rid of our emotions right now. And you buy this and you've got all these old characters that you can use whatever you want, but you really want to put your stamp on it and do new characters. Great. But, and here's the but, you need to make them interesting. You need to come at it from natural storytelling. Just like, let's not put a face or anything. Let's develop a character and then we can cast a person in it instead of casting a character around how a person looks or something like that. Let's just create a character and then find the right person to fit in that character, whoever that person is. And hey, they're not going to get rid of them. So, if we're going to remain fans and buy this stuff, we got to hope for the best. But, if we don't like it, we don't have to buy it either. That's it. And there's plenty of people who do enjoy it. And I don't mean to crap on anybody's enjoyment. Really not cool to do, but oof, man, we'll just call it growing pains. Is that what we're going to call it? Because man, there's some growing pains. There is stuff that's modernized that I do like a lot. Now, Lost in Space came out, and some people are freaking hating it. I didn't. I thought it was pretty good. But growing pains, yes. Sometimes they're growing pains. That's funny. You're funny, Bentox. That was funny. Good one. You got me. Yeah, Lost in Space was cool. I liked it. I mean, it didn't change my life, and it got repetitive. But honestly, it's probably best not watch binge. But I liked the ending. I liked the acting in it. There was, apparently I'll call him my friend, although I'm not his friend because Doomcock hates everybody. So I don't take it personal. But our friend Doomcock, according to Viking Bitch, rage quit after 25 minutes. I say he should have given it a little more time. Yeah. Last Jedi did poop on Force Awakens set up. And yes. And I'll be completely honest there. I'm not the biggest fan of Force Awakens, but there was some intriguing elements in it that I thought Snoke was an intriguing character. I wanted to know more about Snoke. And some of the theories the fans were putting out there were great. Like, yeah. And, and maybe Rian just like realized he couldn't come up with a theory and didn't want to mine a fan's theory. That's what I would have done. I would have straight up gone to Reddit and gone, ooh, that's a good one. I'm stealing that. I mean, like, we're here to make money and entertain. Where it comes from, as long as you're not straight up plagiarizing people or anything, and a theory on Reddit is not copyrighted, so use it. If it works and it entertains people, then use it. I got no problem with that. Mark, I gotta agree with you. Doomcock will soon be out of stuff to review. Now he's planning to turn some stuff around. I don't know if I should talk about what he talks to his patrons about, but he put out a very positive, mostly positive Expanse video. which I loved very much, and I love The Expanse, as you guys know. It is a great, great show, and it didn't miss a beat. That season premiere was amazing. I've seen it 3 times. Freaking Avasarala kicks so much ass. Don't you want Avasarala to like be your mom? Well, maybe not, but maybe they're an aunt. She's like the cool aunt. Yes, Bentox Doomcock's praise of Expanse was great, and what he is behind his mask and voice modulation, possibly, and banter is he's really good at explaining a story and explaining why it's good. Yeah, his breakdown of The Expanse was amazing. We shared it in the group, and I shared it all over Twitter, and I back channeled messaged him saying it was really great, and I think he emailed me today. We're gonna iron out a date, and we're gonna talk about Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks, which means I got to rewatch the entire thing, not just the new stuff, the entire thing. Because honestly, I hadn't seen some old Twin Peaks since it aired. And Twin Peaks is it's funny. Doug will know this. Like I hated it when it first came out, and then I loved it. Possibly it had probably something to do with my wife liking it. So, listen, my wife turned me on to Buffy. I thought Buffy was stupid. I was like, not even going to get into it. And then my wife turned me on to Buffy, and I realized I was an idiot. So, uh, which happens a lot. Yes, Twin Peaks, Bentox. We're going to talk about it. It's going to be a roundtable discussion. Dennis will be there. Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. I'm so looking forward to it. Doomcock has passed 2,000 subscribers, and I'm telling you, he's going to be at like 25K probably by the end of the year. He's just got to pump out more content. But his content is hard to do. It's there's a lot of production value in there. That's why we do live. It's easy. It's easy. I don't have to edit anything. If you go way back in our archive, you see I edited stuff, and just don't. It's not our early stuff is we were working. It was kind of like Disney. We had some growing pains. We were working some stuff out. We definitely have our Last Jedi podcast, or a few of them down there. One of them was a Legion one where we just shit all over the second show. And the few people who did watch us gave us crap for it, which was deserving. It was funny. Applecrow says season 1 was great. Season 2 kind of falls off the rails of Twin Peaks. I don't know. It's hard to pin down that show, or even why I liked it. Just because it was weird. Dude, thanks for remembering Art Bell. He kept it nice and weird all the way to the end. Brandon Branders, you're welcome, and thanks for mentioning that. That was the one thing I loved about Art Bell, is he treated everybody with respect. He did, and it could be the craziest theory, but you get, and what that did was got the guest off the defensive and let them just tell their story, as nuts as it was. And boy, couldn't we use some of that today? Just in, I don't know, everything. Like, let everybody, I don't care how crazy your side is, let somebody finish a sentence. And, if you have people taking their defenses down, and we actually talk to each other, we might get some results or something. I don't know. I know that's stupid though. I'll be happy that Doomcock is coming here no matter what he talks about, says Viking Bitch. Agreed. Yeah, hopefully I can get him to talk about The Expanse a little bit, because I'd love to chit chat with him. It seems like more people are starting to do recaps on it, because there wasn't, when we did it in season 2, I think people came to us just out of necessity. There weren't a lot of people doing it. And it was one of our first videos to hit 1,000 views. It blew my mind that day. And that was the day it sparked, like, ooh, maybe this could be a thing. And Englentine at I Love Comics was kind enough to pub our channel on our little comic book Thunderdome. And he said something really cool that I haven't even thought of. He said, we cover TV and it's kind of our thing here. And that's not how this thing was started. That's not what we intended to add. And he said, I like planted my flag firmly on the television thing. And it was kind of an accident how that happened. We were supposed to be just a general podcast where we would come on once every couple of weeks and just talk about everything. Problem is our schedules were such that all of our news was old. So we would always talk about TV. So, and that's how it did start, is like our podcast wanted to be mostly about television. We weren't really, the movies were kind of sucking other than the MCU to us. And we thought the best art and the best storytelling was happening in television. Still think that to this day. But it was actually our boy John who suggested, hey, my buddy at Rob, Rob from Rob Has a Podcast, who covers like reality shows and stuff, does Game of Thrones. And John was like, yeah, we should cover Game of Thrones. So we thought he'd try it. And we had like zero success with that, which was weird. But we covered, and that's honestly the show I know the most about. I'd say The Expanse is a close second now. And that's just because I've read the crap out of the books. And I've watched the show multiple times, but it didn't take off, and that's fine. We're still going to cover it when it comes back for the last season. But yeah, that's how this podcast turned into just recapping stuff. And then the live thing happened a little over a year ago. Not when a ton of people were live streaming. And Christ, I've told the story a million times before, but like, I didn't know there was a chat. There was a live chat. Like, we didn't see it. And I believe it was Brian. Was it you, Brian? Who was like, hey, you guys, I'm trying to talk to you here and not getting any response. And we're like, oh shit, sorry. Yes, you were Brian has been with us from the early days, Brian Spart. I remember a lot of those early podcasts, Gary. Yes, they were fun. Actually, you're when I'm done here, if you're on the Patreon, you're going to get my meltdown on Amazing Spider-Man 2. Please don't judge me unfairly on that one. And Dennis's review of Winter Soldier, which is hilarious. Because spoiler, he didn't think it was that great. He does now, but he didn't at the time. I think he was just being contrary to me, because Dennis is a lifelong contrarian, but we love him for it. We really do. Yeah, your podcast, Gary, are excellent. Far better than any others I've watched. Wow, Silver Spike, thank you. There are some good ones out there. There are. But I am very proud of what we do, which is just talking. Yeah. Oh, Dennis, I know, but I freaking love that guy. I give him a lot of shit, but I freaking love him. Love him to death. Thank you, Viking bitch, for not judging, and we don't either. Well, we don't judge you guys in the chat. We'll just leave it at that. Unsolicited opinions and snap judgments. Nerdrotic podcast. The rants on the things we don't like are always more entertaining than things we all universally love. Yes, and yeah, that was my last real meltdown, was the death of Gwen Stacy in Amazing Spider-Man 2. What are your thoughts on the Dark Phoenix crap on itself? You mean the movie, Halam? I think I'm really praying that the Fox Disney deal goes down and that movie gets canceled outright, because I want to see Marvel tell that story, because it is a sprawling story that can't be just told in a movie. I'd like it. That should be like your phase 4. That's what you lead up to. That's bigger than Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet. The Dark Phoenix story, honestly, is probably the best story told in all of Marvel Comics. And I'm not even the biggest X-Men fan, but the Dark Phoenix saga is right up there with the Elektra saga and Daredevil. But Dark Phoenix does bring in a ton of X-Men. It does peripherally have some other superheroes in it. It is tragic as hell, because your biggest villain is pretty much the nicest person in the Marvel universe. Marvel Girl. Yeah, imagine not Wonder Girl. Imagine Wonder Girl going bad, or imagine Wonder Woman going insanely bad, and like Steve Trevor or or Batman or Superman like has to kill her. It's that's what it was. It was such a good story, and the art and the storytelling was amazing for 80s comics. And that one needs to be done right, for Christ's sake. And unfortunately, the MCU will tell it, but it's already been told kind of in X-Men 3, and that ruins it. Um, and and uh Jean Grey is the girl next door. She was. I don't know how they write her now, but she was. She was the girl next door, but she was also smart and fun. And they did give her a lot of people say she doesn't have a personality. That's complete BS. She had a personality. Um, and she has a lot of fans. She has a ton of fans. My manager, Harry Maldonado at the comic store, freaking loved her. Man, that was his favorite character. And I had people who just were, and their subscriber would say anything with Jean Grey or / the Phoenix, put in my box. I had tons of those. So, um, uh, Gary, didn't Wonder Woman fight the Justice League in the League of One arc? I believe so. I believe so. And I mean, that's what DC's great about is every possible scenario has pretty much been done in the DC universe through their Elseworlds, and that's kind of fun. I do like that. It would help if they got the Phoenix Flame effect right. That would be a good start. Doug, I love Douglas Adams too. I plan to do an entire podcast on him that could be in like 5 parts. Like how much I love that guy. If I have a Bible, it is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Oh, and Disney screwed up that movie too, by the way. Although the musical number in the beginning was funny. Okay, that was funny. I'll give you that. And Alan Rickman as Marvin, spot on. But my favorite character in all of literature is Ford Prefect. They screwed that one up hard. And it wasn't in the casting. It wasn't who they got. It was I can't. It was actually some guy from the East Bay. It was how he portrayed him as kind of a mumbling dude, and that's not Ford was a partier. Okay, Ford was the ultimate partier, but he was brilliant. And he has and I love his nervous breakdown that he pretty much has through life, the universe, and everything. Yeah, I don't know how I got to from Dark Phoenix. I recently found out Douglas Adams came up with the name for Pink Floyd's The Division Bell album. He did? What? We got to look that up. Hang on. Douglas Adams Division Bell. Oh yeah, there it is right there. It's on Reddit. So yeah, that's great. I mean, I listen. And of course, Pink Floyd is mentioned in the radio show because that's Arthur points out that Marvin hums like Pink Floyd, or was that? And I don't know if that was the radio show or the album version, which I actually have right over there. You can't see it, but I have that on vinyl. That's all they need to do with the movie is they condensed the Hitchhiker radio show down to 2 LPs, and if you just adapted that word for word, you would have had a monster hit. But back to excuse me, back to the Dark Phoenix saga. It's sad that it's going to be Fox, and Fox has done some good things with the X-Men. That's why it's going to be hard with this transition, because when the sale goes down, like Legion's going to get canceled. They tell you it's not. That's BS. They're going to cancel it, and that could end up being the best X-Men thing done. And I'm counting Deadpool and Logan. Yeah, come on, let's fight me on that one. But we got to see how Legion ends. But so far, it's avoiding the sophomore jinx. The first 2 episodes of season 2 were amazing, absolutely amazing. Now we got to see how it develops, because it could get like too weird and go off the rails. kind of like what Apple Crow suggested with Twin Peaks. Shows can go off the rails really quick. It happens. This one has great potential, but Noah Hawley is a genius. Yeah, genius. That show is so beautiful and fun to watch. Yeah, Brian Hell it could get yeah, Brian says that was me. So Brian is the reason I noticed anybody in the chat. Brian Smart. How long have you been with us, Brian? I remember it's got to be at least okay, so over a year, right? Over a year and a half, maybe two. Uh you were one of our 30 subscribers. Um Man, I found the picture. I was going to show you guys, but I like to share these with our group. With what I mean, we do Dennis and I and my wife and John have a back channel that we chat with each other on like constantly. And I like to throw up pictures of like, here's where we were a year ago, just in case, if things slow down on the channel, it's like, hey, don't worry about it. We're gonna be fine. Um, yeah, it's been crazy. It's been a little crazy. We aren't blowing up like 20,000 subscribers or anything like that, but we're on this like we're the tortoise, man. We're on this slow, steady incline that is pretty cool. We're it looks like barring anything crazy, we'll hit 2,000 subscribers within a month, and it took us 4 years to get to 1,000. So uh, now I wasn't putting everything on the channel for 4 years. It was just kind of for the longest time, the only video was our first podcast and that panel from a 2015 WonderCon, which is still our most watched video. It's got 12,000 views, but Mr. Robot's finale is creeping up on it. God, I wanted to pass it, but I don't want to delete the video because it's got. I'd have to, I'd lose all those views. So I don't want to lose that. We passed 300,000 total channel views. God, a month ago. No, not even, yeah, a month ago, which is amazing. Like I said, a year ago we had 81 subscribers. A year ago, last week, I had 81 subscribers and 29,000 total channel views. So most of those views have come in the last calendar year, and that is all thanks to you guys. Thanks, Ed. Says congrats. It's a lot of fun. I never thought this would happen. And Dennis and I would still be doing this if it was 80 subscribers. We had so much fun, and it keeps me out of trouble. This podcast keeps me out of trouble. Dakota says I jumped on the train with the STD reviews. Yeah, the STD reviews. That was tough because I didn't want to be a hater. I didn't. I really didn't. But I ended up being a hater sometimes. Yeah, I did. John and I, like, when we went out to do this, though, we're like, we're going to be as fair as we possibly can be for the show. Because it would have been so easy just to crap on it. So, and we're going to continue doing that. I hope it turns around. I want the show to be good. Okay. And yes, you can turn around a show completely. I've seen it happen. You turned me on to The Expanse last year. So big thanks. Oh, you're welcome. The Bentox. Yes. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Anybody. Yeah. If you haven't jumped on The Expanse, please do. You will not regret it. Whenever you can do to keep out of trouble, Gary. Yes, whatever I can do. And Ed Brewer says Comics Division sent me here. Well, thank him. Thanks, Ed. I love comics. I almost said his name. He asked me not to. Kind of, damn it. I love comics. He is a good guy. Good guy. One of the funniest parts about live streams when you're live streaming with a bunch of people is after the live stream, which we should honestly just keep recording, are just as entertaining. I'm the most fun when I'm in trouble. My wife would not agree with you, Doug. Me too. I love the STD reviews because you guys had some actual Trek knowledge and weren't afraid to be critical yet respectful. And that's what we try to do here. No, personal attacks on actual actors or anything. We can attack their portrayals, but not the person. Okay. They are only as good as the scripts they are given. Okay. Excuse me. Gosh, dang it. I didn't bring my water with me. Hey, Gary, just getting here, says Don Euro. I just watched what you said about Art Bell. Did you ever hear when JC called in? I also started The Expanse this weekend. So good. Yes, I did hear when JC called in. Yes. Also, the time traveler one. I've heard it all. I've heard all. Actually, Danny, I'll tell you right now that when Napster was around, you can get every Art Bell show up to that point, and I downloaded and I still have them. I still have every freaking show. So I joined C2C, and you're able to download. I don't know if you still can, but I downloaded every Art Bell one, and I'm still going through. I don't think I've missed any now. I don't think I've missed any. And I highly recommend it. I mean, like if you're going on a road trip, now granted, like sometimes this stuff puts people to sleep. Like Dennis can't listen to like talk radio. It kind of puts him to sleep. I'm that way with music, so I listen to talk radio. I used to do a lot of driving. I used to do a delivery job, when I was in my 20s, and yeah, I just got addicted to talk radio, and it is the best for a road trip or right before you're going to go to bed. If you instead of having your, your white noise machine going, listen to a little Art Bell right before you go to sleep. Gives you weird dreams too. I have the original radio script from The Hitchhikers, signed by Adams. Oh no, Brian. How much you want to sell it for? I have a first print signed by him. It's right about there. It's out of focus, but it's right there. I bought that on eBay. I did not meet the man. God, I was so down at Doug remembers the day he died. Holy crap. That was a punch in the gut. And it was the only time I ever saw his name mentioned on the news at all. Looks like my camera moved a little bit. It must have hit it. Yeah, Douglas Adams. Holy crap. Yeah, that will be sorry, I'm cleaning the lens here. That will be a podcast for another day. If you guys want to join me for that one, he's my favorite author. It's my favorite book. One of my favorite TV. I love the TV show. I do. The radio show is excellent, and it was thanks to Star Wars why I listened to Hitchhiker. And I think a lot of people are like this because y'all remember the Star Wars radio show. It used to be on PBS, and Doug and I would freaking run home to listen, and we'd put up our little cassette recorders up to the speaker to record each one. And it was a half an hour episode, I believe. And before Star Wars came on, there'd be this weird little show. God dang it. So a little earlier, if you get there early, you'd be hearing this weird little show and we catch little bits of it. And we started catching more and more. And Doug's the one that like, dude, this Hitchhiker, it's brilliant. So we'd get there earlier to listen to it. And I got turned on to the great Star Wars radio show and Hitchhikers. Brian Smart says, I was the 35th subscriber to the Nerdrotic channel. Damn. That is way back then. That is over a couple of years. That is cool. We appreciate your patronage, sir, and your friendship. And it's thanks for hanging in there, man. Vike Mitch, I hope Feisty Fan likes it since we couldn't convert Dennis. We won't give up on that. We won't give up on that. I think Dennis should try new things. I do. A little experimentation doesn't hurt anybody. Except if it's like with I don't know, cannibalism or something like that. My friend has access to Douglas Adams' archive in Cambridge. He's been transcribing his work. Oh, his working notes. Dude. I mean, dude, generally though, I know you're not a dude. Sorry. It's a SoCal thing. We go, dude. That is like I said, Silver Spike, we need to talk. I am obsessed with the man. I'll be honest with you, Salmon of Doubt, I can't finish it. I'll probably kind of be in a hot mess if I do that. So I take it a little bit of the time, but I don't think I'll ever finish that book. And not that it's bad. I mean, it's just a hodgepodge, but just finishing it would be saying like goodbye to Doug, and I don't want to do that. Dude is fine. Thanks. Oh man. Okay. And we can keep talking about Douglas Adams. That's the world misses him. The world misses him. Uh, that era of humor, of English humor, is my favorite. It's I to me the golden age of humor because it's so. I mean, that was Monty Python and Douglas Adams told jokes that taught me stuff. I had no idea um, who philosophers were, and then Monty Python does the philosophers playing soccer sketch, and all of a sudden I know who all the philosophers are, which is the funniest sketch ever, by the way. Damn it. They got a play-by-play. If you haven't watched it, they got a play-by-play going, and philosophers are playing football, and they're thinking about like whether they should kick the ball or whether the ball is real or not. And and then they've got a guy announcing that. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. And the close second to that is on the Monty Python album, where they're doing a play-by-play on a guy writing a book, which is funny too. Which is damn funny. You know what I still have, Doug, is that the Instant Monty Python CD collection, that box set. Freaking love that. It's got all their albums in it. Way out of print on that one. So good. Halam says, I am a Manchester United fan. I've heard of them. I've heard of them. Yes, Faulty Towers was at the same time, Jody, and that was on PBS. Yeah, PBS used to show Faulty Towers, Monty Python, Benny Hill, and Doctor Who. That's what I remember. Viking Bitch says, I've been watching Farscape, rewatching Farscape lately to cheer myself up. The weather has been too gray here. Oh, I'm sorry you're sad. But yeah, you're in Minnesota. Spring is coming. Okay. It'll be sunny soon. I've been through Minnesota many times. My dad's side's family's from South Dakota, Roscoe and Aberdeen. You know, we go to the cafe. Yes, I spent a couple summers out there. My dad wanted to straighten me out and sent me out to the farm where I learned how to drink more. Really straightened me out. First time I drove a combine, I was drunk off my ass and 16. I love how Arthur learns to fly. The art of learning to fly is throwing at yourself at the ground and missing. Yes. Oh, there's so many. You're not going to like hyperspace. Why not? It's unpleasantly like being drunk. What's so unpleasant about being drunk? You ask a glass of water. Got to think on that humor. Good stuff. And Slarty Bartfast. Who doesn't love Slarty Bartfast? And last podcast, I talked about Bistro Mathematics, which is the funniest goddamn thing ever, which is an entire ship run on restaurant math because it's quantum and it makes no fucking sense. And they have robots reenacting getting your order wrong, bringing you out the wrong bread. And you got to order everything. And they're all Italian. God damn, it's funny. It's so funny. Bye, Doug. You got to go pick up the little juniors. They're cute kids, by the way. Yeah, cute kids. Yeah, Viking Bitch, I agree. I need to do the podcast on Douglas Adams. Maybe we can bring Doug on that one if I can nail him down. Bring my boy Doug on the podcast. He's known me the longest out of anybody. He's known me since I was 7 or 8. So that's like 90 years. Is Talia al Ghul my type of girl? Oh, hell yeah. It depends on the show. I don't think she bats for my team or she likes my team. She bats for her team, but doesn't stop me from liking her though. Oh, definitely like Talia. Although she got together with Batman, so I was thinking more of the Arrowverse. You'll be late, as in the late Arthur Dent. It's sort of a threat, you see. Oh, I've heard they're terribly effective. Oh, Jesus. I could just read Hitchhiker for 2 hours. How would you like that? No, I'm really crappy at reading. We're not going to do that. I think I get a copyright strike. Uh, yeah, Gary, that would be awesome. You could also discuss Dirk Gently addition to Hitchhiker's Guide. I love Dirk Gently. Love, love, love. The show, I ended up liking it, although it's something I shouldn't have, and I don't think Douglas Adams would have liked it at all. Uh, but it wasn't Douglas Adams. It wasn't Douglas Adams. Actually, the BBC show that they ran for anybody see that the 4 episodes they ran from 2012, that was way more accurate. That was a Dirk Gently show, and I really enjoyed that. Too bad it didn't get picked up. If you do the Douglas Adams, well, you have to start early on a weekend because it will be an all day thing. You're right. What's up, Man of Action? How's it going? That's what I wanted to ask you all. So now that Man of Action's here, okay, now that everybody's here, because Man of Action and Doug has left, so we don't care what Doug thinks. Just kidding, Doug. Love Pond, what's up, man? If you would bang Talia, you would be stuck with Damien for 18 years. Well, I'm stuck with Indigo for 20. So no, I love him. That's my oldest son, Indigo. And yes, he's named Indigo. And I had zero say in that. Okay. His middle name is Nova. And we're not effing hippies. Okay. We're not. But my wife is an artist. She's a crazy artist. So where was I? Oh, we need to talk about the old show for Hitchhikers was Spotted. Yeah, dude, that was Hitchhiker radio show. We could talk about that. So I'm going to do a Douglas Adams podcast soon. We're going to just do a Douglas Adams centric podcast, and I'll actually do some research and stuff for that. So yeah. So the Monday live stream, is this time good for you guys? Because I have a change up in schedule, so I can actually go on quite a bit earlier. But if like a lunchtime thing is better, you guys let me know. You can let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chat. You can email me. If you go to the About section, you'll see our email. It's too long for me to listen. Yeah, the email. I got to explain the email a little bit. So our podcast, when we started it, we didn't have a name. So we thought of a name like 2 minutes before we started the podcast. And it was just a placeholder name. It was not anything we were really in love with or going to do. But we did our first podcast pretty much below what's called Sutro Tower. It's this giant tower in San Francisco that can be seen all throughout the Bay Area. It's kind of famous, except there's a Golden Gate Bridge here, which kind of eclipses it. And so our original podcast was called the Sutro Watchtower. And that's what I grabbed that URL for our YouTube channel, and then I changed it. I mean, Nerdrotic was around, and why I didn't use it at first, I have no idea, but I didn't. We used it for the website. So then we changed it to Nerdrotic well over a year ago. Problem is I couldn't change the URL. So I'm stuck with sutrowatchtower@gmail.com, which is our official email. You can always get me at nerdrotics@gmail.com too. And I'm getting much better at, I've cleaned up, because I got like 19 emails. So I got rid of most of them so I can pay attention, because my notifications right now are insane. Discord did not help that when I signed up for Discord. Matter of fact, that's why my phone's turned down right now. Wow, 43 watching. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Come on in the chat. If you come on, hang out. Everybody's welcome here. We may talk a little shit, but it's none of it's too bad. None of it's too bad. There's no trolling stuff here. Plus, we got Jody with his wrench ready to go. Yeah. So Douglas Adams. So we talked about Star Trek 4. What we haven't talked about is the Predator. But if you want to keep talking about Douglas Adams, I can go back to it. But let's talk about the Predator real quick, because this is concerning, because I am a Shane Black fan. I liked Iron Man 3. I liked the twist. It was fine. I thought it was funny. The Mandarin is, as the progressives say, is a problematic. a villain, which he is. Although you could have done something else with it, but I liked Ben Kingsley's portrayal of the bad Mandarin. I thought that was kind of cool. If they would have stuck with that, it'd been cool. But that being said, Shane Black is directing The Predator. Okay, so out of all the '80s schlocky horror, aliens, Jason, all that stuff, Predator's my favorite. I love The Predator. It's my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. It's absolutely my favorite because it was a great mixed genre of sci-fi, horror, and just straight up action movie. And it was done to absolute perfection by the brilliant John McTiernan, one of the greatest directors ever, greatest action directors ever. Arnold in his prime. It had two governors in it. Um, shit, maybe three. Now I think about it, but definitely two. No, three politicians. Three politicians were in this movie. Okay, and it was one of the greatest movies ever made, and it came out of left field, and it was, it was something more badass than Arnold, like something that could have eviscerated Arnold. So it wasn't just a clear victory, and yeah. So I don't know. I love the movie so much. I love the concept of the Predator. Predator 2, not so much. Aliens versus Predator, pretty bad. So, but when Shane Black was coming back and I heard the concept, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm down with this. But and I'm looking for the article here. Turns out they reshot the entire third act. That can't be good. That cannot be good. Let's get down to that article real quick. Talk amongst yourselves. Of course, it'll be gone now. There it is. There it is. There it is. All right, the Predator the Predator sure. Yeah, the Predator reshot nearly its entire third act. And then they say it again, 20th Century Fox and filmmaker Shane Black are working hard to deliver the Predator in fighting shape. Delayed its release from February to September in order to carry out, so it is this year, reportedly extensive reshoots. Now co-star Keegan Michael Key from Key and Peele, right? P and Keel, Peel, whatever, has told Cinema Blend just now extensive or how extensive those reshoots are. The filmmakers behind The Predator reshot nearly the entire third act of the film. Well, that's never good. We just finished reshoots last week. It's just about 3/4 of the third act was rewritten, confirms Key. And Shane Black is He's just a consummate professional and a consummate writer. He's a wordsmith. It was really, really exhilarating experience, and I think it will still be one of our most vibrant. He's still one of our most vibrant writers in cinema. I like his stuff. Okay, I really do. Hey, Robert Downey Jr. is back because of this guy. So, the Predator portrays Boyd Holbrook, Narcos, Logan, Olivia Munn, X-Men Apocalypse, Trevante Rhodes, Moonlight, Keegan Michael Key, Keanu, Key and Peele, Tom Jane, The Punisher, who is not pictured up there, and he's not on the IMDb. Jacob Tremblay, Room, Yvonne Strahovski, Dexter, Alfie Allen, Game of Thrones. Oh, little Alfie, right on. He's not so little anymore. Sterling K. Brown, The People versus OJ, and This Is Us, and Edward James Olmos. Damn, Battlestar Galactica and Blade Runner. That's a pretty good cast. But I'm sure many people have done this though. But if you look at this cast compared to the other cast, it's a little different. And I just mean in like everybody had muscles in the other one, and this one looks like it could be the guy on the left. He looks badass. He totally looks badass. Olivia Munn looks like she's 4'11". She's actually taller than that. So those guys must be tall. Because I've actually chatted with her at Comic-Con. That kid doesn't look too happy to be there. I don't know. He looks a little tired. I heard a little bit like this is supposed to be the Predator in suburbia or something like that. That would be cool as hell. I don't know, guys, though. I don't know. I don't know. Can Tom Jane? I mean, if Tom Jane's in most of the movie, can he save it, or do you guys think it's just like this is just another bad remake and it's going to be garbage and we're going to lose out on another cool franchise? I don't know. What do you guys think? First to answer my question, Rubicon Alpha says, Gary, the current time of the Monday podcast is about the only time I can catch the show live during the week. But I could catch up later. You could. This works for me. If it works for everybody else, it works for me, man. I am here for you guys. Yeah, there are some strange rumblings about this movie. There are, like, how much is like Tom Jane? I don't think he was supposed, for one, I don't think he was originally cast and they brought him in later. He's never been in any of the promotional material, and he wasn't on IMDb. And I thought, I've been telling you guys forever that Tom Jane's in this movie and he's the reason I want to watch it, but I haven't seen anything. So yeah, there's any movie that gets delayed for 6 months and then gets this entire third act shot. That's not good. Silver Spike like Man 3 2. Yeah, I did. And yeah, I liked it too. And well, thanks. Whatever I'm doing it right. Just yakking. Just yakking. We've lost 3 people, but that's okay. That's okay. There's 40 people here. That's amazing. So yeah, I'm a little worried about the Predator. I'm a little worried because I want this to be good. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Neely. I great idea for a sequel crossover to Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and the Nice Guys. Imagine one film and 2 eras solving the same LA mystery. That would be cool. I was just thinking, haven't they kind of done that? Like 2 people at the same time solving a mystery. I can't remember what movie that was. You guys can help me out. But that would still be cool as hell. I would love it. Loved Kiss Kiss Bang Bang so much. Like it says, with RJD and Val Kilmer in present day, with Redford and Gosling characters from the Nice Guys, you then show the past 70s with Gosling and Russell Crowe. I call it Nice Guys Kiss Last. That's great, man. Pitch that shit. That is awesome. That's cool. Your time is good for the show, says Brian. Okay, we'll keep it at this. It seems like we have more people watching, so that's good. Although I don't see Feisty. Are you listening? I'm supposedly your Monday. I don't know if she's still mad at me from the fight. Nah, she was never mad at me. Shouting out, Feisty. Pop into the comments if you're out there. That is a really good idea, Mr. Neely, and better than most of the garbage we hear from Hollywood these days. So that'd be fun. If you haven't seen Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, folks, find a way. And you'll see why Robert Downey Jr. has had a career resurgence. And he's one of my favorite stories. Okay. Of course, being a grateful recovering addict, like seeing Robert Downey Jr., hit his bottom and come back up. And while people, he's got an army of people around here keep him sober. If I had that money, I'd do the same goddamn thing. And he's always talking about how grateful he is with the Marvel Universe. I freaking love the dude. Love the dude. And he's a great, great, great actor. Okay. Chaplin, folks. Less Than Zero. Less Than Zero. I like that movie a lot. It gives us poor Europeans a chance when it's this time of day. Okay. That works for me. Well, and a lot of people don't live stream during the day. That's why I was like, maybe I'll do it in the morning because nobody does. And it's getting crowded on Friday night. Not that I'm going to stop Friday night because I'm not. It works out for me. So find a way. Yes, Ed Brewer, find a way. Kiss Kiss saved Robert Downey Jr. It did. It did. I'm going to go back up the chat. I thought the best twist would have been Ben Kingsley, foppish thespian portrayal to be the complete act, and he was in fact the Mandarin fooling Tony. Um, I was kind of hoping that that Hail to the King, a Marvel short that they did, would show that. It instead showed that there was a Mandarin, but it still could be him. I That would have been a better twist, like a double twist, because his badass Mandarin was badass. That voice I thought would be annoying was cool. I liked it. Yeah, yeah. Uh, Yep, Jody kind of agrees with that. The Marvel one, yeah, he says the same thing. Sorry, I didn't read that. You just said what I said, except you said it sooner. So I swear Raja Ghul follows the because he tells assassin to do Muslim prayer before an assassin's dead. Uh, um, he might have been. I don't know, but I'd have to look back. I think it was definitely nod, but I don't. Yeah, I don't know on that one. Hold on. I wouldn't be surprised. But they're not going to do that now. That would be one of those problematic things, probably, uh, for whatever way you look at it. If it bleeds, we can kill it. Goddamn straight. Jesse the Body Ventura. Uh, what happened to him? Like, he cleaned up so well for governor of Minnesota, Viking bitch. I'm guessing you didn't vote for him, Viking bitch, but that's just an assumption. Um, he cleaned up so well for governor, and like now he looks like he lives in a Salton Sea trailer park. And like his conspiracy show on whatever channel it was, I watched it, and he mined a lot of, frankly, a lot of other people's work. But I mean, that's a TV show, so that's cool. He's very pro marijuana lately, which it's fun. Oh wow, what the heck? Wow, thank you, Bentox. $14.99. Man, I could have bought a VHS back. No, I'm just kidding. That's how much our VHSs were. It was $14.99. Star Trek 2. Boom. Thanks, man. Wow. I appreciate that. The Bentox, $14.99 donation to the Nerdrotic channel, and it will go to something good. I promise. I promise. Wow. I'm a little shaken by that. So thank you for the generosity. I completely forgot what I was talking about. Oh, Jesse the Body Ventura at liking weed. There's nothing wrong with liking weed. Okay. It's legal now here in California. It's making a lot of people a lot of money. It's one of those things though. You're going to regret it being legal. You're going to regret it. And here's why. It takes the fun out of it. I remember the good old days of going to your local dealer's house, and he would take like 3 hours to get you your weed because he had no friends. So he wanted you to hang out, and he would like spin all his philosophy, his life's philosophy with you. And like in the back of your head, you're like, dude, you're a drug dealer, man. You're a drug dealer. I mean, great for entrepreneurship, but you are a drug dealer. And the danger of it, like, oh, I'm gonna get caught smoking pot. So it gives you like a little rush of the danger. And now, like, if you're a grower, they're gonna the same amount of people are gonna get arrested for pot. It's just for different reasons. You're now gonna get arrested for not being up to code with your pot. Um, they're going to put government regulations up the wazoo on this, and you're going to get your ass taxed off. Yeah, it's not going to be fun anymore. Trust me. And at least your local dealer. I mean, you knew what you were getting with him. Okay, somewhat, unless he laced it with something or something, which has happened to me, to be honest with you. Yeah. So yeah, that's great. It's legal. It seems like he worships it a little bit too much to me. I mean, it still is just a plant or a weed. It helps a ton of people. I know. Uh, when my dad was, I wish my dad had it when he was dying of cancer. And my dad would have been the last dude in the world to take weed, but I would have forced him to do it. And I wish it was around. Kind of sucks it wasn't. So, but yeah, and I'm glad it helps a lot of people, and the whole hemp argument, and great. But I never liked weed. I never a big fan of it. He always thought if you want to cut all the dangerous elements of crime and drug dealing, such as legalize it, regularize it, tax it, no more war on drugs. And I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. It does take some of the danger out of it, except in my world, Mr. Neely, the gang and the government are no different. And that is a quote from Jane's Addiction, but it's true. It's true. But it does take some of the danger out of it. And I think the same could be said about prostitution. I think that should probably be legal too. And that's as political as I get. But anything that lessens danger for people, because like people are going to do that anyway. So let's make sure they're safe, because a lot of those men and women who are in prostitution, they are vulnerable. They are targets. It's fucked up. And I've seen firsthand through the program, like the abuse they go through, and it's really pretty fucking horrible. Weed never liked Brooks. Hey, Brooks. What's up, motherfucker? Hey, Brooks. Yeah, weed never did like me. I am like the one guy who threw up on weed. I got like so fucking high on weed, I threw up. It's gross. I did design quite a good bong though. One time we had a little bong challenge at my friend JD's house. So we went to a pet store and we got hamster tubing and a skull from an aquarium and some plumber's putty, and we made a bong called Skull Fuck. So it was from the floor to my chin, and the carb on it was like you had to put so you had to take shoe off, put your foot on the carb down there, and one hit off this thing and you were done. And I got sick. I kind of blew it. Yep, you still got to pay your toll. Now it's to two entities instead of one. That's right. That's a whole argument I totally can't get into. But yeah, Skull Fuck. That was the name of our the bong. Yeah, that's a tough one because we talk about that in the meetings. We're like there's definitely good parts for. I mean, there's a good argument to be made to just screw it, make every drug legal. But a lot of the ones that are legal are the ones we're having the biggest problem with right now. So like in the meetings, without blowing anybody's anonymity, opiates and the pills are worse than anything I have ever seen. So there's been a big resurgence in AA and NA lately because of the opiates. And I am all my life, I've lost a couple of friends to overdoses. I have overdosed myself a couple of times, dangerously so. And went and got high the next day once they brought me back to life. And I've seen more kids die in the last 3 years, like 19-year-old, 20-year-old kids, and like having to talk to their parents. And I've only done that a couple times. That's why I'm not sponsoring anybody right now, because it got too hard. It really did get too hard. It's like having your heart ripped out of your chest. It's so fucking bad. I don't mean to bring you guys down. It's the opiates. The opiates are the worst. And those things are legal, and doctors are just throwing them out there like candy. Yes, my bong. Drugs are bad. Yes, how's your father? Yes, they are. End of story. Drugs are bad. Skull fuck. I love that bong. Wine is good for you, man of action. But anything in moderation is great. I do not judge at all. I really hate it when back in the early days of my recovery, people got all weird, and like my parents would be like, "We got to take the beer away." It's like, no, please don't. And again, I wasn't that into alcohol. Alcohol does a ton of damage to your brain and stuff, but so do a lot of things. So does walking outside and breathing the air. So, hey. Gary, write a comic about a soup going through when you went through. If I could write, that's maybe you should write it, Apple Crow. I'd read the shit out of that. Feisty and I talked about doing a video on how recovery is portrayed in popular culture, and how sometimes it is portrayed very well and sometimes it's not. And I think we might do that. I think we might actually do that. We've had some drug addicted superheroes in the form, but like not one totally going through it for like his entire arc. That'd be interesting. I think that's kind of a good pitch. Oh, thanks, Langley. I will get back to sponsoring. Um, I definitely have to get back to sponsoring. Cigarettes, Ed Brewers. Yeah, cigarettes are the worst because like you don't get anything out of it. You know, to be honest with you. Um, but being a sponsor is rewarding as hell, and it's great for your for. I mean, like for just complete selfish reasons, is great for my sobriety, but the helping the other person part is like an integral part of staying sober. So it's in the steps, it's in the traditions. I stopped telling people that because you treat you like an asshole, and then they think you're trying to turn you into a saint. So they try to sabotage you. I don't know what that's from, but sabotage is a horrible thing, man of action that we do to each other and we do to ourselves. I was the worst at it. I would self sabotage all the time. Old weed Logan. Yes. Could Logan get high? Does Wolverine get high? I think he could. I know that question is like he can get drunk, but it takes him more. Yeah, it is a man of action. You get off drugs on your own time. If not, you die. Yes, there's three destinations for those of us who are addicted. It's jails, institutions, and death. Death being the easiest one to deal with because you're dead. Uh, it's a choice up to a point, and then it clicks in some brain chemistry in there that some people are born more addictive than others. The word that the program uses is disease. Some people don't like that. You don't need to use that word at all. Just some people are more addicted to things than others. That's just a simple thing. So there are people who can do an ounce of coke and never do it again. Then there's a guy who can do like a little bump and he's done. He's done for the rest of his life. So I mean, done like he's on the drug train, as the Cramps used to say. You put one leg up, you put another leg up, you put another leg up, and then you're on the drug train. Ain't that right, Brooks? You still watching Brooks? He probably bumped out. Brooks is from Film Zen, and you guys know Jay. Jay's been on. Brooks is his much better half. No, I'm just kidding, Jay. Slightly though. Maybe not kidding at all. Brooks, I used to work with Brooks and Doug at the warehouse. Got old friend. Yeah, yep. Yeah. Still here. Good. Hi, Brooks. Got to get you on, dude. Stop ignoring my messages. I'm kidding. Yeah, Brooks, you need to come on. You do sometime. We'll talk. Brooks is a funny guy. Genetic predisposition. I can read to addiction. Yes, my parents were addicts. So my birth parents. Okay. So let's talk about nerdy stuff. That's depressing. I had a good meeting this morning though. I feel great. I feel so great coming out of those things, man. They're really good. They're good for you. I think everybody should go 12 stepping. It's actually pretty cool. It is. It's not as I used to. Okay, when I was like young, I thought it was really culty, but it's not. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, the Eternals. So Marvel, in which I believe is a 100% retort to DC doing the Fourth World, is going to be doing the Eternals. Salt shakers at the ready. Bleeding Cool reports a very reliable source has informed them Marvel is developing and on the precipice of announcing an Eternals movie based on Jack Kirby's post New Gods 1976, making the timing interesting, giving the recent news from Warner Brothers on New Gods about a race of human adjacent super beings created by the all-powerful celestials of the Earth's cosmic defenders. I think the Eternals will make a great movie. It's not a comic book for everybody. It's very Kirby. There's people out there who absolutely worship and adore everything Kirby does, and I'm totally down with that. That's cool. Eternals will be tough. Neil Gaiman did an interesting Eternals. I don't know how much I loved it, but it was interesting. The most interesting part is a giant celestial standing in Golden Gate Park, and it just stood there. And it would show up in other comics when the X-Men went to San Francisco for a while. Man of Action, I can't argue with you. Eternals will be crazier than Guardians of the Galaxies and the Inhumans. It would make up for their shitty Inhuman series, possibly, if they do it right. But they can't do what Man of Action says is Marvel will find a way to screw it up. And I'm going to guess what you're thinking, Man of Action. If I'm wrong, you can correct me. But they're going to want to make it like Eternals Ragnarok, like somewhere in between Guardians of the Galaxy and Ragnarok, which is kind of like the silly, fun galactic stuff, which is a great way to introduce it. But you can get serious because there are. Listen, if they ever tell the Annihilation story, I mean, correctly, that's one of the best galactic crossovers they've ever done. That would be fun. The Eternals, the rough part about it is Disney's going to feel like they need to bring like the goofy humor, and that would ruin the Eternals. That would absolutely ruin it. It's not a goofy, it's something that has to be taken seriously. No tongue in cheeks. This is some crazy epic galactic shit. And if you do that and you get a talented enough person and not James Gunn, I don't think he'd be good for the Eternals. I don't know who you think. I don't know who would be good for the Eternals. Like Terry Gilliam in his prime would be perfect for the Eternals. Make the Eternals like if you want to go okay, if you want to inject a little humor in it, I mean a little. Yeah, go like Time Bandits with the Eternals. Hear me out on this one. I'm making this up as I go. But like not as funny, but just the visuals of Baron von Munchausen and Time Bandits is how I would go with the Eternals. I would go like balls out crazy with it. Disney's goofy humor has been ruining everything lately. Goofy humor, I can't read. A lot of people saying that, Brooks. There's a lot of people who did not like Thor Ragnarok, which kind of surprised me. I kind of dug it. But I can, if they go that route, like for doing it once is cool. But within that comedy, what we lost is the actual Ragnarok story, which was retold before Avengers Disassemble. And quite frankly, is the best Thor story I've ever read. I believe it was written by Oeming. I can't remember, to be honest with you. And we lost Planet Hulk, which is the single best Hulk story ever told. And tragic as hell and not funny in the least bit. Not funny in the least bit. Planet Hulk, if you guys have not read the comics, the Civil War is about to jump off in the Marvel Universe. Reed Richards thinks that Hulk could sway one team over another and decides the best way to deal with Hulk is to trick him into a ship and fire him off into space. Yes, fires him off in space. The trajectory was supposed to be to a peaceful planet. And of course, that does not happen. Hulk crash lands on a barbarian planet, and we're off to the races. And it gets worse. It gets way worse for Hulk. So it's like a Hulk Conan story. Basically it's a Hulk John Carter story, except with a sad ending. And goddamn, is it a good story? Just talking about it makes me want to read that again. And then what happens after that is good too. because there's some reckoning after that. We'll just leave it at that. Planet Hulk should have been saved for like 3 movies, honestly. My Hulk is Bill Bixby, Lou Ferrigno. How's your father? That was my Hulk for the longest time too. And then I met Lou Ferrigno. Let me tell you about Lou Ferrigno. I I don't want to. I had a bad experience with Lou Ferrigno at Comic Con because I was taking a picture of my friend. Lou was in the background. I was not even aware he was there. And he started giving me shit and telling me I had to pay him because I took a picture of him. Because he was saying, like, oh, no free pictures. He wants to get paid. I understand that. And then I said, dude, I'm not taking a picture of you. I'm taking a picture of my friend who's standing there. He's all, well, it looks like you were taking a picture of me, man. I've heard that story before. I'm like, whatever, dude. Whatever. Yeah, he was a dick. He was a straight up dick. Seriously, I would have, if I'd have saw him there, I would have walked up to him and paid the $5 to take a picture with him, but not after that act. Like, steroids are bad for you. Yeah, and this, and the funny thing was his representation called me 2 years later and asked if he wanted to come visit my comic store. Well, no, thanks. That's cool. Of course, he wanted an event. He wanted like $1,000 and for me to put him up in a hotel and then he could charge people. It's like, nah, it's okay. It's all right. I'll get somebody else. Lou is great in that Star Trek Continues episode. I did not see that one, Bentex. I got to watch it. Star Trek Continues is cool. That is some good fan made stuff, man. That is made with love. You can tell. And it's actually entertaining. It's very entertaining. Yeah, and I don't like, I've had so many good and bad experiences at Comic-Con, and when I'm down there, I'm sure I'll relay stuff. I'm going to try. Man, we tried to do it last year to go live from the floor, but the internet connection in there is so wonky. So Dennis and I will do what we can. But we're going to try to actually get into panels, which we haven't tried in a couple of years, to give you guys some information and have some fun. If anybody out there in the chat or in the comments or anywhere is going to be in San Diego for Comic-Con, contact us. Contact Dennis and I through Twitter, through whatever, and let's hang out. Let's do a meetup. Let's do a meetup. That will be cool. I don't know where yet, but we'll figure it out. It'll be probably like 4 of us, but that's cool. We can go to a Lestat's coffee shop and do a podcast or something like that. Brooks, are you going to Comic-Con? I guess Feisty's not watching. I'm going to give her shit. Oh boy, we're going to go over the 2-hour mark here pretty soon. I don't know if I'm going to do that. So you guys know that every time I go over 2 hours, like there's something weird with my channel. So so when it rolls over into a video, it'll show the last 2 hours of my stream and whatever time there is I went over. They cut that off the beginning, and it takes a full day for it to come back. That's really been annoying me. So I might wrap this one up. I might, but God, we're going so good. We're having so much fun. You want to keep going? 2 hours of goodness. That's thanks. It happens on other. Okay, it's good to hear that it happens on other channels. Yeah, Brooks, let's hook up down there when you're down there. If you're around, I know you're a busy guy. No, you're a busy guy. Man, it's been a while since I talked to you. I haven't even talked. Have we talked since the Hodads thing? Man, I'm sorry about that. I don't know if I ever passed that on to you, and I know it's been years, but dude, sorry, man. That guy is going to be missed. He was a San Diego legend. Owner of Hodad's Burgers passed away in, I believe, 2012, and he was a San Diego legend. And Hodad's were, I haven't had one in a long time, but damn good burgers, to be honest with you. Where is my Twitter? I'll do this live on the air. He's not listening. Gonna give her shit. You don't listen to me anymore? Is it something I said? Boo hoo. Gotta get her attention. Doomcock is coming. That sounded bad. Well, that sounds just like Bendis is coming. That's been the advertisement in all the DC comic books lately. Bendis is coming. He's coming. We don't want that. So coming up on the show this week, do a little plugging. I'll go for a little while if you guys are down. That's cool. I'll go for a little while. Tomorrow we got tonight we have Ash vs. Evil Dead with Susan Layton, and it's so sad what's happening. Like Ash is going to get canceled. Its ratings are like at 100,000 people. Like it fell off the cliff, and maybe it's because the joke got old. I don't know. It's still a fun show to watch. I know it's not. It's a niche show within a niche show within a niche show, but like if you're into it at all, catch these last 3 or 4 episodes because that's it. And there will be no more Ash. There's going to be no movies. That's it. It is done forever. So enjoy it while we still got it. Then we have The Great Legion on Tuesday night. We'll be here at 9:15. And then, of course, with The Expanse at 9:15. Then at about like 10:30, if you night owls are up, or it might be in the morning in Europe, I'll do a quick Krypton thing. Thursday, we're taking off. Friday, we got the Friday Night Live podcast with Susan Layton. I am working on getting Comics Division and Feisty on as well to hang out with us because I owe them that. I've been on Comics Channel so much. He needs to come on mine. Maybe we get Englentine on too someday. That'd be nice to have him on. And then Saturday, it looks like Farscape. And Sunday, Westworld. Oh, I can't wait for Westworld. Fucking Westworld. Prior to that, and I think it's we're going to do a Sunday. We are going to do a morning podcast. It's going to be 10 or 11 in the morning Pacific time. We'll figure it out for you guys. We're doing our Westworld Theories podcast. So come on and join us and tell us what you think. Tell us if you have any theories of like what's going on. Because here's what we don't know about Westworld. We don't know. They let it slip like what year it was. They said 2054, but they took it off the website. So we don't know if that sticks. So we don't know when it is. We don't know where it is. We don't know how advanced they are. We don't know if this is reality. I went through a phase of thinking like this is like a Matrix thing. I'm not thinking that now. And where do they go? Like they're blowing up Westworld basically in season 2. So can you keep calling it Westworld? Or are they going to reboot Westworld? Or like it's only going to last 5 seasons. They have a cohesive story. This is the one time they delayed something and it was worth it because they realized they had something special on their hands and they're like, shit, let's not do a Lost. And Jonathan Nolan has said that that I don't want to do a Lost. We're gonna map out an ending and we're gonna get there and it's gonna be logical. Samurai World, yeah, that's dude, man of action. I can't fucking wait for that shit. And I'm so excited for this show. This show could be better than Game of Thrones. It could, especially coming off of the last. Yes, he is though. How's your father? And that's the one thing I like to conveniently forget is J.J. Abrams is involved in name only. It's actually run by Jonathan Nolan and his wife, who is equally as good of a writer, Lisa Joy, who's not, she's easy on the eyes too. I'll have to say that. But she's great too. And there's they get some Game of Thrones directors involved, and the quality of the show is like nothing I've ever seen. And Anthony Hopkins not mailing in his performance. Like he was so good as Dr. Ford. And are they going to miss him while he's gone? And Ed Harris, holy shit, Ed Harris. Like these guys like are putting in some of the best performances of their careers like later on. And the best thing I've seen Ed Harris in is the Pollock movie. But Like this, he is so good as the Man in Black, who could be actually our good guy in a really very strange, sickening way. Um, Viking bitch says she swears like a sailor. Well, it's in her name, bitch. And for a while, Dennis and I didn't want to say it. She insisted. So, uh, yeah, I don't think we'll get a season 7. Remember, Game of Thrones was supposed to be 10 seasons, and they were saying that all the way up till George didn't finish the book, and then they went, okay, it's over. And that had everything to do with it. And go back and look, go back and archive. We're going to get 10 seasons of Game of Thrones. We're on our way to 10 seasons. Could Game of Thrones go more than 10 seasons? Then George, at the end of the year, at the end of 2015 or 16, wrote, yeah, book's not coming out for any time soon. Then all of a sudden, like within a week, it was, okay, we're ending this and it's not going to be as long. Ed Harris is great. He could do a cooking commercial and make it cool, says Man of Action. Agreed. Ed Harris is just one of those guys. Like he seems like kind of a method actor to me. So like one of those guys who would be homeless if he wasn't acting. Like Marlon Brando would have been a homeless guy if he wasn't acting. Because they were effing nuts. Method actors. Heath Ledger was a method actor. And it killed him. Glenn Gary, Glenn Gross. Glenn Gary, Glenn Ross. That movie, Alec Baldwin, the watch thing. That's the only thing I truly remember was so good. Ed Harris acting in a comic got me hungry. There you go. Peter Sellers. I love Peter Sellers. Peter Sellers died way too soon and was a genius. And I miss Heath Ledger so much. When he was announced for the Joker, a lot of people were pissed. And people can back me up on this from the comic store. I was one of the ones who was actually excited because I saw him in The Brothers Grimm, which in itself is not a good movie. But he plays one of and he's kind of twitchy, and you could see that like he wasn't gonna come at he played well in a Gilliam movie, which isn't easy for an actor to do. And I just saw something in him in that movie that said, okay, that might be a good choice. It's possible. And I was not the biggest fan of Batman Begins. This is what I initially thought. I think I like it now. Time has actually been decent on that movie. I just thought it was a little, I don't know, bland or something at the time. And I was younger and stupid. But Dark Knight blew me away. It's still a great movie. I know there's some people who have come out and, listen, Bale's Batman was the best. The costume sucked. I hated that costume. But he was a good Bruce Wayne. And yeah, and Dark Knight's a great movie. And it's based on a greater movie, which is called Heat. That's what Nolan used as his inspiration. Netflix needs to, that's a great idea. Netflix needs to make a series based on The Shadow. Just throwing that one out there. Hell yeah. You think Razor Fisted like that? He's a YouTuber and he loves The Shadow. And he's done some really good videos on why. Gary, I enjoyed The Brothers Grimm, but more because of Monica Bellucci. Yeah. Monica Bellucci. I enjoyed it too. I mean, I have nothing bad to say about Gilliam, but he was a hired gun on that one. So. You are correct, sir. Brooks pointed out Nick Nolte was homeless in preparation for Down and Out in Beverly Hills. And it looks like he never really turned that off. And he is method as hell. And that is a great movie, by the way. That is a great film. Monica Bellucci is, yes. Could read the phone book and make it sultry. Yes, she could. Man of Action wants to see a Shadow on Netflix. I would too. Netflix does some good stuff. They do some good stuff. They are a force to be reckoned with. I still think that the sleeping giant is Amazon. Uh, if they're doing a Shadow, why not also do a Phantom, right? I do what Dynamite is doing and get all the characters Project Superpowers that's been going on. Get all the characters that are free domain. Like you can get anybody you want. You could do, the Black Mask and or the Black Terror. Sorry, Black Terror. Get a bunch of superheroes that don't have anybody tying down their IP and make a super team out of it. Do your own. Take it easy, Steve. Yeah, we're wrapping up here in a few minutes. So I have not seen Nolte on Graves, Jody. Uh, totally a whole set of period piece superheroes. Yeah, fuck, that would be great. How come nobody's done that? Cross them over? Hell yeah. Yeah, Dynamite. Pitch that TV show. Uh and then like the CW crossover. Like the CW crossover, but no talking about feelings in hallways. Now, if you want to be killing bad guys in hallways, and nothing bad about hallways. Daredevil has the best hallway scene ever in anything. Um, I thought the Shadow and plus the Phantom, and then at that point they would just have a League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Yeah, why not? That, by the way, is my favorite Alan Moore comic. League, love League. Uh, didn't they have Phantom team up with heroes in a cartoon called Defenders of the Earth? I believe so. I do not remember that, but you could be right. The Hook will be a period piece, right? Man of Action. That would be great. Straight up like 30s, do it in the 30s, the gangster era. Yeah, God, that would be great. Viking bitch. How about if they talk about their feelings and they kill people? Okay, I'll give you that. I'm all about compromise. I am. Oh my God. Anybody else hearing news that Harry Anderson from Night Court passed away? What? Okay, hang on. Go into Google. Yep. Holy shit. And he was in It as well. Let's thank you, Mr. Neely. Let's go to I don't want to go to there. What's this? I want to make sure I'm not going to some weird website. Okay, so this is like yeah. Oh, this sucks. Man, I love this show. I love this show. Hot off the presses, everybody. The great Harry Anderson dies in Nashville, Night Court actor. It's just a quick thing. Police officials confirmed that actor Harry Anderson died at his home in Asheville, North Carolina, Monday morning. Anderson was a 3-time Emmy nominee for his role as Judge Harry Stone in Night Court, according to Asheville Police Department. PIO Christina Hingelson. Officers were called to his home early Monday before 8 a.m. No foul play. And not to be creepy on y'all, but that's 3, ladies and gentlemen. That's 3. These things happen in 3s. We had Art Bell, Arlie Army, and now Harry Anderson. Rest in peace, man. And yes, he was also in It, the TV miniseries. Am I right on? Or was it The Stand? Was he in It or The Stand? Man, that sucks. Thanks for the news there, though, Mr. Neely. That's a bummer. Yeah, Night Court was so damn funny. It was such a weird show. Very 80s. Oh, Milos Forman died too. Okay, that's 4. Milos Forman. Bad weekend to be a celebrity. Oh, at least it wasn't 2000. Was it 16? Whew, man alive. Prince and Bowie, same year. That sucks. Yeah, it sucks. So rest in peace, kind sir. He was young. He was freaking young. That makes you Makes you think, I'm at that age. Gotta start going to doctors and like you gotta like start tripping off weird pains. Like, oh, is that normal? And then you go to the doctor and you're all, yeah, it's normal. You're old. Carry on. Penn Farm Girl says 2016. I still haven't recovered. So many have not. Night Court was a gem. Man of action. Absolutely. I don't know how it holds out. The cast of it is dying. Yeah. They're getting up there. They're getting older, but Marky Post is still with us, thank God. And John Larroquette, is John Larroquette still around, right? Oh my God, dude, so many people have died. I hope he is. 6 degrees of Star Trek, absolutely. Uh Man, that's kind of a bummer. So I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. I'm gonna wrap it up here, go about my day, and I'm gonna be back in a few hours for Ash versus Evil Dead, and of course I will be back. We'll do 12:30 next Monday, and we will talk amongst ourselves about all kinds of fun stuff. Anything you guys want to talk about. I love doing this. I can do this every day. Well, I can't, but I could. You know what I mean? I like if I didn't have that work thing to go to. So, and I got some stuff to do around the house. So please check out our other videos. If you haven't, if you like what you saw, please subscribe, hit the bell, Patreon, blah, blah, blah. All the links will be in the description. Everybody in the chat. Rubicon Alpha, Edward Brewer, Benton X, Man of Action, How's Your Father, Penn Farm Girl, Jody, Mr. Neely, Viking Bitch, Ed Brewer. If I say somebody's name twice, sorry. Apple Crow, Mark, those listening or watching this video, I do this all the time and I won't stop. Steve Nyman, and well, until there's too many damn names to say, but while there's still enough names to say, I'm gonna thank everybody for coming in and hanging out with me. Brooks, good to see you, bud. Doug, who was here. Did I say how's your father? I'm gonna say it again if I didn't. Silver Spike, the wonderful Silver Spike. Feisty Fan was in earlier. She probably had to go work. She was doing Final Cutoff, I'm sure. Dante S was in earlier. Anybody new-ish? It don't, you know what? There was people in earlier, but it only lets me go up so high on the chat. So if I missed anybody, I'm sorry. And to our great patrons, sorry I don't have the graphic. You know who you are. You know I love you. Some of you are still expecting packages. That's already taken care of. Bye, Love Pond. You were there earlier too. Bye-bye. And yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun stuff coming up. I've already announced what's going to come up, so I will just leave it here. Thank you again for joining me, everybody. I had a lot of fun, and see you next time. May the small folks sing songs of your greatness. Bye.